Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and today we're doing another indie horror spotlight. Today I have with us, he's a director, and he has a movie that's in pre-production right now that's called Mental. As well as he also has a movie that's streaming on Tubi right now, and it's called Malcolm. I have with us Chadwick Whitmire. Chadwick Whitmire. Chadwick, welcome to the Horror Room.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure to have you on, man. Me too, man. Me too. Now, first, let's talk a little bit about Mental. Tell us a little bit about.
Mental. Mental. I'm still working on the project and everything, but I've kind of taken a little step back from it because I got a location and a little bit of a better opportunity to film. We got this awesome cabin. And it's like in the middle of nowhere. And we started writing, me and a partner of mine started writing script last week, actually. So I'm looking forward to that. But Mental, I did film a proof of concept video for it. And so it's still there, but it's not my number one priority at this moment. But when it comes to Malcolm, that's a whole story in itself.
Now, I have a question. As a filmmaker, is the pre-production part, is that the most stressful part of the whole filmmaking process?
Probably so. Just, being a producer and doing all those things you got to do. And then if you don't want to hire somebody to cast people, you take care of that. When I say pre-production, I don't know, because when I get on set, I'm like big ball of nerves until the day's over, and I'm like, oh man, we made it.
Because there's so many different things that can go wrong during the process. I've said before, I've been on one set before, and two of the actresses didn't show up, and being a filmmaker, how you got to be able to pivot around that.
I've been lucky, to be honest with you, that I had one call out about a week before filming, and then I had one 2 days before filming. And you just got to roll with it and see if you can bring somebody else to the project.
Now, do you think as an indie filmmaker, because listen, it's fun, I can imagine it's fun and exciting, but do you feel like as an indie filmmaker, you have to be a little bit of a stress junkie?
Oh, definitely. It's an experience. I don't know. It's kind of like a buzz that you get, and it's way better than drugs. It's just like you said, but it's also like what am I looking for? Adrenaline.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a bunch of adrenaline the whole shoot. And I think if I were all right, I used to do theater back years ago. And they told me, they said, look, if you're not nervous when you go out there, then why are you doing this? Because you have to have a certain level of anxiety in order to be able to, continue with your master plan.
Now, when you're wrapping up on a project, is your mind already on the next project, or do you take some time off and decompress?
Well, we did the whole Malcolm thing, and then I didn't get back into it for a little while because I wrote a feature script called Mental, and then now I started my other one. But I guess my projects, I had I kept writing shorts and doing stuff like that, and I wrote this script called The Butcher. And it was basically to prove to myself that I could write a 90-page feature film. So that story. I want to eventually make that movie, but that movie's going to require a little bit more funding. So, The Butcher, I'll tell you what it's about. It's about
Sure.
a small town crime organization getting wrapped up with this FBI agent guy comes to infiltrate. He makes friends with this other dude. He ends up, they were partners running stuff for a guy they call the Butcher. And they think that there's like a lot of like sex trafficking and stuff going on, but there's really not. What it really is, the Butcher is doing different procedures on these people that these two guys get for the Butcher.
Now you now I mean, but so listen, I have ADHD, so like I can only focus on one thing at a time. It takes a special kind of person to be able to put one project down to the side and then jump on another one and then jump back to that. I mean, does that mess with the flow for you at all, or
No,
does your brain just work in a different way?
it just works in a different way. I just know that I love being on set. I love doing everything like that. But there's nothing better than just sitting here at my computer, writing and doing what I love to do.
Now we talked a little bit about Malcolm, which is right now streaming on Tubi. Tell us a little bit about Malcolm.
Okay. Malcolm was originally a short called Changing Malcolm. We started on it in 2021, I believe, and it was a web series at first. And we basically ended up having all this footage, and we were like, okay, well, if we put a beginning to it and we put an ending to it and we tie it all together somehow, we can make this into a feature film and possibly get it out there and do what all we wanted to do with it. So that's exactly what we did. We filmed every few months or so, and we had different chapters. Chapter 1, which was Changing Malcolm. Chapter 2 was Chasing Malcolm, and so on. And we did 7 of those. And then we put a beginning and ending to it and tied it together.
Now I've watched Malcolm. It has a gritty look to it. Was that your attentions from the beginning to give it that gritty look?
I wanted it to be about, I like my movies to be about mental illness. And with this new one, it's not really, I think the new one's going to deal more with addiction than it will be necessarily, like mental, for example. It's about a bunch of different people a bunch of different women with different mental illnesses, but it's circled around PTSD. And Malcolm was circled, all about schizophrenia. So that's how that all kind of tailed in together.
And those are real life horror stories. I mean, because mental illness, PTSD, those are terrifying. I mean, those are terrifying things, and especially in, I'm gonna say country, but in this world. And unfortunately, there's a stigma that's put on them, and a lot of individuals who suffer from mental illness or PTSD, they're outcasts. They're looked as sometime as, I don't say the term bad guys, but yeah, I mean, you think about a lot of the criminals and just people in general. A lot of them suffer from mental illness, and half the time, some of the things they do is because of those mental illness.
Yeah, that's the truth. I did a year volunteering for an organization called National Alliance on Mental Illness. It's called NAMI. And I signed up to do a whole year, and what I did was facilitate the support groups. So I've got a lot of knowledge and background with stuff like that.
And I mean, I've had a lot of people who are close to me, family-wise, who, suffer from mental illness in one way or another. And the support is not there in this country. It's lacking. And it's an unfortunate thing because, even with a lot of these facilities, they're so quick to push the individual out without even being treated or find the root of the cause of the problem. And it's sad. I mean, that's one thing about this. You know, we're the greatest country in the world, medical wise, but the one thing that we lack at when it comes to medical is mental illness and how to treat. I would say how to treat, but not only how to treat, how to get down to the root of what the actual issue is.
Oh yeah, that's always a big thing. You know, I deal with people with mental illness, and I've struggled myself. So I know what, you know what I'm saying? I can sympathize with people. And I've been through addiction too. But I've been sober for 4.5 years.
Correct.
So that's a plus side. And then when I did that, I got into painting a little bit. But then I was like, this isn't what I want to do. So I was like, well, let me take some acting classes. I wanted to act all my life since I was like 3 years old. I didn't like it, but I fell into the writing aspect of it, and I fell in love with it.
Now, this is a two-part question I have for you, Chadwick. This is a controversial two-part question. Can you? I speak to a lot of indie filmmakers, and you know, horror and just other genres. Can you actually make money from streaming as an indie author on Tubi, Amazon, any of these? And the second part of the question is, if you're an indie filmmaker, do you almost have to go in not expecting to make any money?
Oh yeah. Well, the thing is I love doing it. So regardless, I still want to do it. But the thing is there was a man told me a long time ago. He was in it. He had made plenty of movies. He's an actor. He's kind of well known in the scene. But he told me, he said, you basically, in a nutshell, he told me, he said, you need to be doing it for the money. I know you love doing it, but it's business.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of took that and ran with it about 10 years after he told me. But I can say that having one movie on streaming, you're not going to get rich. But will you see a little bit of money? Yeah. I mean, it goes through.
Now, do you see at some point that streaming may not be the option and that we're going to go back to physical media?
That I don't know about us going back to physical media, but I actually love physical media. I have CDs. I'll buy a CD. I get a Blu-ray, a DVD. My girlfriend just set all these things up for me last week. Put everything in alphabetical order. I had like some 500 DVDs. Some of them I had multiples of that I didn't realize that I'd bought. And another movie that I kept looking to come back on TV, and I had it on DVD the whole time. So that tells you how much addicted to physical media I am.
Yeah, because I've had Donald Farmer on, who's indie horror filmmaker, has been making them since the 70s, and he was talking about the good old times when it comes to indie horror filmmakers was in the VHS days, when you had video stores and you had people buying movies and and I've started seeing there's more of a renaissance where people want physical movies. And I've seen a lot of indie filmmakers who only will sell their movie or only show their movie on a physical media. I mean, I'm a physical media guy just like you are. There's something about streaming, to me, it takes away the essence of watching a movie.
Yeah, it's kind of like, instead of going in, that feeling you have going in a Blockbuster, it's not quite the same walking up to the Redbox.
Yes. I 100% agree. Because, yes, listen, listen, I love going on to Tubi or Netflix or whatever and going to the horror channel, and I have hundreds, if not thousands, of movies to select from. But at the same time, it's so easy for me now to if I'm 5 minutes into the movie, I can just click out and go to another movie. Compared to when I rented a movie from Blockbuster, oh no, I was finishing that bad boy.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely. I'm also I'm wearing my Texas Chainsaw Massacre shirt.
Love it. I got him on the wall back there. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I was like, let me wear that tonight. I have I don't have too many. I have like a Devil's Reject shirt that I can't wear anymore because I bought it so long ago. I've gotten taller and everything since then. And I did recently acquire a Terrifier t-shirt
Nice.
from the mall a couple months ago.
Nice. Now, are you excited by Terrifier 3?
I'm looking forward to it. I've seen the other two. I've only watched them once, so I'm not going to say I'm not into it because I really am. But for some reason, it kind of reminds me of the whole thing Rob Zombie did with House of a Thousand Corpses and then Devil's Rejects and then Three from Hell. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, because listen, I feel like I'm gonna have to eat I'm gonna have to eat shit because I was saying that there's no way in hell Terrifier 3 is gonna be good. You know what I mean? Because the third movie in most horror movie series is usually when the drop off happens.
True.
But I'm seeing reviews and they're saying that this is way better than the first two and how great this movie is. Might be the best horror. I'm like, oh my goodness, I might have to eat crow on this one.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll watch it. I'll probably end up buying the DVD.
So what was the first horror movie that you watched that really made you fall in love with horror?
The movie I saw that made me fall in love with horror was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But there's two other movies that tie into this. I actually rented the Texas Chainsaw Massacre when I was a kid because my grandparents, they would let me watch movies like that. They didn't care. So I fell in love with it when I saw it, and that was on VHS. But I saw my first movie theater one was The Curse of Michael Myers back in like 95, I think.
Yes.
I saw that, and then I had a thing for when 96 came out. I had a big thing for Scream. And my grandmother I would go stay with her on the weekends, and she would always go by the video store, take me to get a toy, take me to the video store, blah, blah, blah. Well, she told me, she said, if I buy this for you, because this tape was $20, and that was back in 97.
It's a lot of money.
And she was like, if I buy this for you, you're not going to be able to rent movies for 4 weeks, for a whole month. I was like, done deal. Let's get this movie. I wanted that movie so bad. But yeah, I've seen a bunch of horror movies now that I've gotten older.
And listen, you and I have two things in common. So the first horror movie I ever saw was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I was 5 years old, and my mom was a horror fan, and we watched that shit. And like I was born in the 80s, and like that was the first horror movie I saw. And then the second horror movie I ever saw in the movie theaters, my oldest sister had her driver's license, and she was, I think, 18 at the time. And the first horror movie I saw in the movie theaters that she took us to, my younger sister and I, was Jason Goes to Hell. But the second one was The Curse of Michael Myers.
Oh, no way.
Yes. So that was the second horror movie I saw in the movie theater. And I remember how great I thought that movie was. I mean, that movie gets a lot of shit. Like, a lot of people say, oh, that movie's horrible. No, The Curse of Michael Myers, if you think about it, now, I haven't seen the director's cut. Have you seen the director's cut version?
No. Halloween's not one of my favorite franchises.
Okay.
But I do love The Curse of Michael Myers. And it's probably because it's a sentimental thing to me.
That's what it is for me. That's what Jason Goes to Hell is for me. But everybody says that the director's cut is so much better than the theatrical cuts. And I still haven't seen it yet.
I'll have to check that out now that you brought that up.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, Chadwick, I do this every once in a while on my horror interviews because it's a horror channel. I'm actually 3 random horror questions. This is your personal opinion. Okay?
Oh, okay. I was like, don't
Right.
give me no A to B.
The first one. What horror movie series do you feel is overrated?
Halloween.
Why is that?
It's just because I do like the Curse of Michael Myers. I have Halloween Kills, but I was never like. Let me see how to explain this. I don't think I was ever really scared of Michael Myers. I don't think he's one that really scared me. He wasn't running around with somebody else's face on with a chainsaw. I mean, that's cool. But this was just a guy running around with a butcher knife. But I'd probably say that Halloween. They're getting a little bit on the side of Saws, though. Saw movies are getting out of hand.
They really are. I've been saying that for a while. I've been saying that about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies too. There's 9 of them, and only 3 of them to me are watchable.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the first 2, and I like the reboot.
You do like the reboot?
I mean, the first one, yeah, the one with Jessica Alba running around with the wife beater on.
Yeah, the 2003 one.
Yeah, I like that one.
It was okay. I liked when it was this one was kind of pushed to the side a lot, but I liked Leatherface.
Part 3.
No, not Leatherface Part 3. But Leatherface.
The one that was on Sci-Fi where they showed him when he was younger, and it was like the origin stories, kind of.
Yeah, but still, at the end of the day, it's like they will call him this and they call him that. You know, he was Thomas Hewitt, and then all of a sudden he was Bubba Sawyer. There's a lot of, I love it. I love them. I watch any of them. I got Netflix for the month just to watch that movie, the newest one that came out.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I'm gonna watch them. But there's always something that could have been done better.
I agree, and I mean, I love Leatherface. That's why he's on the wall. I love him as a character. I just wish it would get. I just wish some filmmaker would come out and give us an original Leatherface Texas Chainsaw Massacre story that doesn't necessarily tie in to the original.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I feel like it just needs a fresh coat of paint.
Mm-hmm.
Because they keep trying to bring it. Each one trying to keep bringing it back to the original. Okay, let's do something completely different with Leatherface. That's my gripe with that series. Next one. Do you think the Aliens series? Do you think that's sci-fi or horror?
Oh, I've seen the first one. But I never really watched. I think there was how many of them?
There's 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm not going to include Alien versus Predator. So there's 3. I want to say there's 7.
Oh God,
it might be 8, 7 or 8.
I've missed a lot.
Yeah.
I always thought it was more of a. Well, now that you mention it, I mean, aliens possibly exist. So, I think I'm going to lead toward like. I haven't seen that movie in so long. I think it could be both. Maybe. I don't really know. That's a difficult question because I haven't really watched. I know it's weird. I've watched all kinds of horror movies, but I recently saw The Exorcist, and then I bought the DVD. But a lot of those classic ones I've missed. A lot. I watch more independent stuff than I do mainstream anyway.
Well, definitely, if you want to watch any Aliens movie, watch Aliens 2. Aliens 2 is the most badass. I don't care, sci-fi, whatever. I put Aliens 2 and The Thing, the John Carpenter version,
Hmm.
are, some people say those movies are sci-fi. I think they're horror because yes, they have sci-fi elements in them, but they have you to the edge of your seat, and also too, The Thing has some of the best practical effects I've ever seen in a horror movie, in a movie period. So
Yeah, I'm.
definitely check this out.
Yeah, I definitely will because I've seen them like my whole life. I passed them looking in the video store. I passed, but I really got into this series. I want to say it's called Camp Blood or something like that. You ever heard of it on Tubi? Camp Blood.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, you have to check
It's
that out.
good. It's good. All right, I'm writing it
They're on
down.
their ninth one, I believe.
Holy shit! Okay.
But
All
yeah,
right.
I just love the independent movies. They, but another thing, like I kind of ruined my girlfriend with watching movies now that she's on set and she does catering and crafty for us and everything. And we'll sit down and watch a movie, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, you've ruined me," because she knows that they're acting. That
Yeah.
she's seen so many behind the scenes of movies. She's like, "You ruined me with watching movies because now I know how pretty much all of them are going to go." But yeah,
Okay.
she's great though.
And I've got one last question. Favorite final girl? Laurie Strode, Halloween. Sidney Prescott, the Scream series, or Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, I got to go with Nick Campbell with Scream. I'll have to go with Scream. But my all-time favorite horror movie actor is Bill Moseley. He's my favorite actor.
Oh, love Bill. Nice guy, too.
And Danielle Harris is awesome.
Daniel Harris is amazing as well. Love it, man.
But
But yeah, but I mean, Sidney Prescott. Listen, somebody asked me. I feel like Sidney Prescott gets left off of the list a lot of time when it comes to best final girls.
mm-hmm. I think you froze.
Watch her over the series of the films. Gain stronger and stronger and deal with her PTSD and all that stuff. She's a badass character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like her a lot. I was drawn to her because I guess she was the main character of the movie. But even I think it was part 3 where she had moved out and was out of the city or whatever and lived in this house. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
And then she came back. I think that was part 3, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
With Roman.
Yes.
I've somewhat kept up with the first few of those. But nothing's going to ever beat Scream 96. I mean, I'm not saying movie in general, but I'm saying they ain't going to do a better one.
The original Scream is the best out of the series. Scream 6, the last one, came close to it, but it died at the end. Like the ending. It's been a while since I watched a movie that was this great and then just at the end. I remember watching it in the theater, so I was like, "Oh my god, is this better than the original?" And then like that last 25% of the movie, I was like, "Oh wow."
Yeah, I saw it somewhere. I kind of held out on it, and I think I watched it on. I don't remember what I watched it on, but it was. Man, I don't think I bought it. But another series I like's Wrong Turn.
See, Wrong Turn. I like the first 2. like the first two, and I like I don't know if you call it a reboot or a reimagination of the one. That's the one came out. I want to say it came out in 2019 or 2020.
Something like that. I got the Blu-ray.
Yeah, that one is amazing. And I think a lot of people miss out on that one. That is good. That's
I liked it. But I don't know. I love falling into things like when you fall asleep watching Tubi and you wake up and there's a great movie on.
Yes.
I love to do that.
Well, Chadrick, where can everyone find you on social media?
Oh, definitely on Facebook. You can just search Chadrick R. Whitmire. I do have an Instagram. It's at Whitmire Chadrick. Thank you for getting my name right, by the way, because I get on these things with people and they don't know how to pronounce it. But you got it.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I try to practice names before I jump onto the interview. I also try to watch people's projects before I interview them too. And I've heard a lot of people say people don't do that. And if I have access to your movie, which means if it's on a streaming service or you send it to me, I'm definitely going to watch it before I interview you, so that I can at least have something to talk about. Because what are we going to talk about if I haven't seen your movie?
It's all right,
everyone. Yeah. But everyone, listen, get your asses over to Tubi, and please check out Malcolm, and also follow Chadrick on social media as well, and look out for Mental and The Butcher in future as well. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for coming to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and that's Chadrick Whitmire. We'll see you next time. Take care.